Good day, viewers, and welcome to today's Sportwrap show with Wjndhoek. In some of our stories, PSG star Lionel Messi was sent threatening messages by gunmen in an attack on a family store in Argentina. Real Madrid failed to score at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium as they lose 1-0 to Barcelona. That and more on today's Sportwrap show. Let's get straight into the hit list. The Momentum Youth Rugby camp will be hosted in July at Wjndhoek High School Vegkop Stadium. Now 6 Namibian secondary school teams and 6 South African teams will clash over 3 days. The Namibian teams are Wjndhoek Gymnasium, Afis, Wjndhoek High School, HTS, Moria and Pro Ed Academy, with Walvis Bay Private School as an option. From South Africa, it's HTS Middelburg, Paul Boys High, Rondebosch and St. Peter, Zimbabwe ready entering competition.
From the NSSU, just talk to us about this initiative launched by Gravity Sports Solution and of course Momentum. How do you guys feel about this initiative?
I think we're excited. The initiative is really in line with our vision of getting more competition for schools. So we are just here to appreciate the gesture from Momentum and Gravity and to say that maybe we just need more competitions also in other codes and so on. So I think it's a welcome initiative. Our schools will benefit from getting exposure with other international schools that are coming. So we are excited, and hopefully the future should look good for rugby in the country.
So you spoke about everybody should be included. That is of course private schools and our government schools. Talk to us about how important that is for the NSSU.
It is very important. The NSSU is the only body that is controlling school sports in Namibia, and it is schools. It doesn't say public or private. So I said in this discussion when we go forward, we need to make sure that our competitions are inclusionary. We need to include everybody. Because I'm of the belief that when public and private schools compete with each other, they will see improvement there. So of late we have seen in the past and where we've seen that some schools want to exclude themselves to have their own competitions and so on. And I think that is not something that we want to support. We want to say let's have competitions that where we meet each other, everybody is at one place, we compete. And I'm happy that even the criteria that is used now to select the 6 schools is that these 6 schools were participating in an NSSU League last year, which was held under the auspices of NSSR. And that is something that we want to applaud. Whether the top 4 schools or whether they are private or whatever, for us it doesn't matter. As long as they participate in a league that is seconded by the NSSU, and that is the way to go.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Roger Kambatuku, Chief National Coordinator of the Namibia School Sports Union, was commenting on the importance of Momentum Youth Rugby competition at the launch today. Now, Tommy Shindi was appointed a new role as chairperson of the Supporters Club. We got a few words from him of how he plans to get the fans more involved to make sure Tigers FC are challenging for top 4 in the Debmarine Premier League.
Industrial revolution, which is more technically driven. So most of the supporters, players, and the management, being millennials, we have to understand how we operate. You know, we operate very differently in person and when we operate electronics. So the thing that we have to make the supporters more proficient in is relationships. And relationships is not just going on a group and then asking for results. Relationship has to do with voice inflection, personal interaction, and coming to matches. So the trajectory that I'll put up will speak more of how we can bring the 12 men to the stadium in terms of putting up stations where we meet, because in the past I've attended a lot of soccer matches in the UK and in Soweto Derby. So I know there's always spots where you meet and where you then move with the supporters to the matches, especially the small matches, because you know there are people that just have the tendency to attend. Most supporters just a tendency to attend the big matches. So you have to push. And then the media presence that we are putting up. I'm busy in talks with 2 very big media personalities, celebrities, socialites in Namibia that I will bring on board. They will be running our promotions and all that. And they have a very huge following. And you know what happens if you have such a personality on board? you trigger then everyone that wants to be like them and then or likes what they do, and it will pull numbers for us. And that 12th player that we need, we have to win the matches in the week and just go claim the points at match day. That's all. That's my plan.
The follow-up question, which was directed to me, Mr. Ezra, I think should have been directed to the technical team, the head coach or the coach, because it's a bit misleading. But I will answer it, and it will be short. My answer is you claimed rumors and hearsay. And in life, we all don't go by rumors and hearsay because there's no substance to it. That is the hierarchy. Head coach, Mr. James Britt. First team coach, Mr. Mikonjo Naholo. Coach, assistant coach, Mr. Protash Kabwe. Goalkeeper coach, Mr. Heribert Kaptein. Fitness coach, Mr. Rudy Lowe. Medic, Mrs. Julia Alwendo. And then we have 2 team managers, one for logistics and one as first team manager, Mr. Utoni and Mr. Mashisha. So it's self-explanatory. They are their own people. That is the technical team. They make decisions based on technical. If they have to answer to management, then they do in their own capacities. But on match day, and training and all of that, they are in charge, fully in charge. They stand by their mandate. Thank you.
The start of round 2 of the Debmarine Namibia Premier League should once again provide great entertainment to football lovers across the country. African Stars, who have opened up a runaway lead of 14 points, will be in action at the UNAM Stadium this weekend, playing against Black Africa on Saturday, followed by Young African on Sunday. African Stars already racked up a 6-1 win against Black Africa during their first encounter. Second-placed Okahanja United has a weekend at Wjndhoek Bay to look forward to, playing against Blue Waters on Saturday and against 11 Arrows on Sunday. The 2 leading clubs in Namibian cricket will once again meet in the final of the 50-over Premier League at the Wanderers Field on Saturday. Defending champions AHA Motors Wjndhoek High School Old Boys, led by Malan Kruger, finished second on the points table behind APS Imperial Samsung Wanderers under the captaincy of Nicholas Schultz. Both teams will be at near full strength after the return of the national team from their recent tour to Nepal at the United Arab Emirates. The pipeline follows up after the break. The Africa Triathlon Cup, scheduled to take place on 25 March 2023, is fast and approaching. Today we recap on the chat with Roel Spakenburg, the president of the Namibia Triathlon Federation. Enjoy.
And we are back with Roel Spakenburg, the president of the Namibia Triathlon Federation. I must say, quite an interesting conversation as somebody who's watched triathlon from the sidelines for a while now.
Well, the challenge is on. You're
Don't
going to be
judge
doing
me.
one soon.
I mean, I hope so. I hope so. If the
Right, there
Triathlon
we go. If
Federation
she does
is kind
one,
to
we
me.
will pay an entry for her.
Wow, that's enticing. That's enticing. Beloftes maak skuld. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about that day that I now have free entry to.
Okay, great. So Swakopmund that day will become a triathlon hub. So the entire event will be situated around the main beach, the Mola area. All right. So we'll be swimming in the Mola. We will be using the parking lot in front of the Under Mola holiday apartments. That parking lot will become a triathlon village for the day. There'll be tents, there'll be food, there'll be drinks, music, a big screen TV. You guys are there. There's MCs coming in, so it's going to be a fun vibe, all right? So that is where everything's going to happen. That's where the transitions are. The bike course runs into town. It actually goes all the way down Velvicha Street past the Dome and back. We close off the entire road, so no cars, just bicycles. The run is on the promenade, Strand Street and the promenade. That is also closed off for the day. It's just for runners. So the whole vibe of the event will be around triathlon, based around triathlon. Now, obviously, hosting an event of this magnitude is the World Triathlon bodies take it very serious in terms of safety. And Swakopmund as a town has really put their hand forward to make Swakopmund a annual destination for triathlon, and there's big dreams and plans for triathlon in Swakopmund, and we're grateful to the city of Swakopmund for making this possible. I mean, it's inconveniencing their residents, but I mean, Swakop is a happy town. They're happy to contribute. Now we've got some excellent people coming down. I'm sure we're going to be talking about that a bit later. But I ask people to come and have a look and just see what it's all about. We're trying to put up as professional a show as possible, and just come and give it a go. You don't need to be a serious triathlete to participate.
Okay, fantastic. So tell me a little bit more, for those of us who are watching, or those of the viewers who are watching who might be interested, but persuade them a little. Tell them a little bit, what keeps you coming back to triathlon?
It's just a healthy lifestyle. You know what? I've cycled, I ran, and I don't really want to ditch the other sports because I mean they've got their place. They're doing great things, but triathlon brings a lot of balance. You know, it's unfortunately as I got older and I got kids, I don't have time to cycle 16 or 20 hours a week anymore. For triathlon, I can cycle less because the distance is shorter. Neither can I run a 21 or a 42k once a week. I just don't have the time. For triathlon, I only need to run 5 kilometers. Same for swimming. I only need to swim either 750 meters or 325 meters. Depends on what event I sign up for. So it's manageable, and that is what people need to realize. There's a distance for every ability. So it's a healthy sport, a balanced sport.
Mm-hmm. So if anybody wants to get in touch with you guys to take part in this
Yes.
event, how are they going to do that?
All right, so the NTF's got a website, www.ntf.go.na. We've got accredited coaches that's listed on the website. You're welcome to either contact ourselves, our details are on there, or contact one of the coaches and come for a tryout. You know, just have a chat, see what it's all about. Come to an event and chat to us about it. I'm sure you'll get hooked fairly quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I must say, the moment they come out of the water, I'm already like, yeah! So tell me a little bit about the future plans for the Triathlon Federation. Obviously,
Right.
you guys are growing.
Yes.
But what does that future growth look like?
All right, so we've come to realize about 3 or 4 years ago, there is a lot of opportunity for Namibians in triathlon. And we haven't fully harnessed that. Look, we've always had good triathletes. I mean, most recently, Divan de Plooi has been to Commonwealth Games. We had Jean-Paul Berger, Drickus Coetzee, Doki Bombosch, Charmaine Shannon. There's a host of great athletes we had. But it was sort of if the system let them down, you know. It got expensive for these guys to go and travel to race in other countries. So we thought, you know what, let's bring the races to them. And we've got a big focus in terms of juniors. Like I said, we'll be sending a team to the Junior Commonwealth Games this year, and we're very excited. We do think we've got some very good athletes. And we've got a system in place where we're growing their kids. So hopefully in 5 or 6 years from now, we've got professional triathletes. And the opportunity is there. And that's the mandate and that's the plan. But on the social level, NTF is really trying to grow the sport. We want to make it a mainstream sport. there's no reason why we shouldn't have a massive Wjndhoek triathlon or Swakopmund triathlon once a year and attract 100 to 200 social people just to come out and have fun. And then obviously long term, there's plans. We would like to host events like the Ironman. I don't think that is far off. That is in our reach. It's almost there. And I think that'll just change the sport of triathlon forever.
Okay, fantastic. And would you be able to expand a little bit more about triathlon's place on the world stage? You know, we've now sort of carved a place for ourselves in athletics with Christine Boma, Beatrice Masilingi, cycling with Tristan and all these guys. What is triathlon's place on the world stage in Namibia?
All right, so triathlon as a sport worldwide has taken a remodeling. They're really trying to make triathlon attractive. So the beautiful thing about triathlon is that it's so concentrated in one area, is spectators can actually see the whole thing and not just when somebody goes past. So they've made triathlon as a sport much more attractive to the viewers out there. Unfortunately, we are maybe 3 or 4 years off from having a superstar on the circuit. We were well on our way last year. Unfortunately, some athletes changed. A few things happened to athletes, but we've quickly recouped. And I think 3 or 4 years from now, we'll have some very good athletes on the world circuits.
Okay, fantastic. And then, second to last question. I wanted to make that the last question, but I'm enjoying this conversation. So, tell us a little bit about the history of triathlon. Where exactly does it come from? When exactly did it start? Because for a lot of people it may seem like it just kind of fell out of the sky, but obviously it has a long track in Namibia. Could you tell us a little bit about the history of triathlon?
Triathlon in Namibia is actually a very old sport. It's been around for a long time. I've been trying to dig through the history to find some information, but I mean in the 80s, Namibia had a massive triathlon following. And a few people know, but we actually hosted triathlon cups, Africa Cups, all the way back then. It used to be at Marienthal at the Hardap Dam. And I mean, athletes like Toki Bombosh, those guys were the local legends at the time. And few people know, but Toki just came short of qualifying for the Olympics way back then. So triathlon it's been coming for a long time, and only the last 3 years have we sort of made it mainstream. And I think we're riding the crest of the wave now. It's a good time to be a triathlete.
Okay, fantastic. And then we have a tradition on Flex where we share health and health tips with one another. Do you have a health tip to share with our viewers?
Yes. Get up early. Watch the sunrise. I think there's a lot of value just in our busy lives to get up early and make some time for yourself. Life seems to run away for us these days. But before we close off, I want to add that we've got over 40 pro athletes coming to this event. And I might be wrong, I might be right, but I think this is the single largest event in terms of pro athlete attendance. And what I mean by pro athlete is nobody from Namibia. It's all professional athletes from across the world. We've got athletes coming in from America, from Japan, Kazakhstan, Europe, Great Britain. Obviously, there's an African, South Africa, Mozambique, and all of that. But at the moment, we're standing in 40 pro athletes that signed up that will all be racing on that day.
And something tells me that they actually wake up and watch the sunrise.
Of course, they train. They train that time of the morning.
I must say, there is nothing like jogging at the sunrise.
No, or swimming. Try swimming that time of the morning.
I should. Yeah. Now I've got a lot of things to do. I have to go swim. I have to go cycle. I need to go get my affairs in order. What exactly do you need for registration?
Nothing. We've already signed you up. Just give us your full name and date of birth, and you're signed up.
We
will get somebody to accompany you the entire event.
Do I get like a little badge that says like honorary guest or something?
No, we can do that.
Oh yeah. Woo! Okay. So obviously there's a lot of fun and my golden badge at the Africa Triathlon Cup. So if you're not a triathlon triathlete yourself, do be sure to check it out. It is a a lot of fun to watch a triathlon, I can tell you from personal experience. Thank you so much, Ro, for joining us. Do you have anything else you'd like to tell our viewers?
Just come out. If you're only a cyclist, find a running buddy or a swimming buddy or phone us, we'll find one for you. Or if you just want to come out and have coffee and have a look at us, just come around for a chat. Come and enjoy the day. The more people we've got there, the bigger the event grows, the happier the sponsors are, the bigger we can go next year.
Okay, great. And the cooler it is that I have a special guest badge.
All right, we're going to be holding it to this, bets on her.
I'm going to be holding you to this. Great. So we still have a jam-packed show for you. Thank you so much for joining us for the interview segment. We will be right back with the rest of Flip.
What an entertaining and insightful conversation. Up next is Adi Hokard with international news, and with that, we'll close today's Sportwrap show, but we'll be back again on Monday for another edition of Sportwrap. From me, Ashwin Bedi. Stay active.
News and starting off with golf news. Firstly, on the women's LPGA Tour, it's the World Golf Championship taking place in Singapore at the moment. Lots of good golfers playing there. The top 3 in the world rankings playing there. It is number 1, Lydia Ko, that's in action. Also Nelly Korda from the United States, and Minye Lee, number 3, she's from Australia. Scores from the first round is that Megan Chung is the leader of the first round. She's from the United States of America. She came in with a 63 in the second round. 2 rounds already played there, and it's a total of -10. Nelly Korda doing well. She's the world number 2, and she came in with a total of the 2 rounds of -8. And it is the world number 1, Lydia Ko. She finished the second round with a 69 for a total of -5. Southern African interest, it's Ashley Buhai doing great, a great tournament for her, 67 in the second round, a total of -8, just 2 shots behind the leader. On the American PGA Tour, it is the Arnold Palmer Invitational, a strong field also there, all the top players on the world rankings in action there, playing for a total purse of $20 million US, the winner taking $3.6 million US. Leader at the moment after the first round is world number 1, John Rahm. He came in with a 65, that is 7 under par. And it is Rory McIlroy that battled. He came in with a score of +1. But Scotty Scheffler, also in the top 3 in the world at the moment, he's -4. And Southern African interest there, not too great. It's Christian Besaidnout. He came in with a +1 score after the first round. Continuing with tennis news, it's a Dubai duty-free tennis tournament on the AWT or the ATP Tour for men taking place. Quarterfinals are done. It is number 3 seed Daniil Medvedev. He beat number 5 seed Boran Koric. The score 6-3 and 6-2. Quite a comfortable win there for Daniil Medvedev. He will in the semi-final play against Novak Djokovic. And also Andrei Rublev, he's a number 2 seed, safely through to the semi-finals, and in the semi-finals he will play on the 7th seed. He is Alexander Zverev. He is from Germany. The final of this tournament will be played on Sunday. Continuing international sports news with cricket news, and it's Australia that beat India in the 3rd test that was played in India, and by that they sealed a place in the World Test Championship final. That's only 1 test that will be played in June. That will be at the Oval in England, and so Australia through to that final. They beat India quite comfortably in this 3rd test by 9 wickets, and it was what happened was India batted first in the test, 109 runs in their first innings, and Australia 197 in their first innings, and then it was India that replied with 163, and it was in the end Australia that only needed 78 runs or 76 runs, but they scored 78 for the loss of 1 wicket, winning by 9 wickets. They will either play Sri Lanka or India in the final, and it is India that can qualify for this final if they beat Australia in the 4th test that will also be played in India. Closing off briefly, it is motor racing news. It is Formula 1 starting this Sunday. It's the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it's Mercedes-Benz Lewis Hamilton that said that he admitted that Mercedes-Benz not where they need to be at the moment. That is just before the start, and he realized that with all the testing that was done the past weekend, seems like Max Verstappen in his Red Bull Honda would be very fast and difficult to beat. So it is concern for Lewis Hamilton and his teammate George Russell with the start of the 23 races for 2023. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day and sport weekend, and we talk again on Monday. Goodbye.